Hola, Gringos y Gringos, and welcome to
Gringos Are Us.
Expats with a Plan.
I'm Mark.
I'm Gina.
This week, we're going to show you San Cristóbal de las Casas, coming up after this.
And welcome back. Today's video is indeed about San Cristóbal de las Casas, which, by the way, was never actually an indigenous city. It was settled by the Spanish and used as a location for a fort, and then it became the city that it became.
And it has bounced back and forth as the capital of Chiapas, along with Tuxtla Gutierrez. It's situated in a beautiful little valley at about somewhere over 6,000 feet with a very moderate climate that is much different than what it is at the base of the mountains.
The natural vegetation of the area is pine oak forests.
And we were right in the middle of it and loved it.
The Cathedral of San Cristóbal de las Casas was built in the early 1700s and is one of the prominent features of Centro Histórico. It has a Zocalo over on one side, and it has an open air market area that sits right in front of it that is constantly a beehive of activity between vendors setting up and vendors who are strolling around with their wares. And the vendors do follow you around sometimes.
And it seems like once they find that they have a mark, and I'm not talking about this type of mark, ones that will reach in their pocket and give them some money, they get even more popular.
Yeah.
They will and do follow you around. We had numerous people that followed us the entire journey.
Muchas gracias.
Coffee. Cappuccino.
course Mark didn't get it. Mark never gets coffee.
The two main indigenous groups in this area are the Tzotzil and the Tzetzal. Both of them are branches of Mayan, but they have their own languages and they have their own customs.
And their own style of dress. I mean, you can look and go, oh, boom or boom. It's subtle, but once you see it and you know it, you can tell.
You can tell the difference between those from Chamula and those from Zinacatan. These women who are waiting for the bank are dressed in clothing that is identified with Tzotzil and Chamula specifically. You can tell by the brushed, furry-looking dress skirts.
And they're not just seen in Centro. We saw them in the stores, we saw them in restaurants, we even saw it in Walmart.
Yep.
And of course, the biggest thing that draws people into San Cristóbal is the wonderful weather, the beautiful Centro area, and the wonderful people. It's a great tourist mecca, and it thrives on supporting the tourism industry because that's their biggest draw of everything that they do.
Yes, about 65% of the income earned in San Cristóbal is directly related to tourism and hospitality.
Yeah, you'll not go wrong with restaurants. There are tour places everywhere. We did a couple of the tours and we got an opportunity to see some things that had we gone on our own, we wouldn't have seen.
True.
As you leave one side of Centro from the Zocalo area, the road Miguel Hidalgo is a pedestrian-only street that leads from the Zocalo down to the old convent and is lined with all sorts of shops, restaurants, and interesting things to do.
We took the pedestrian street and made our way down to the Templo and Ex-Convent del Carmen.
We rimped there once and sort of just strolled around the outside. We had a little bit of time to kill before our dinner reservations and found ourselves there again. And people were going in and we were like,
What is
okay.
this?
We wandered in and boy, were we shocked.
This literally is a community center of arts.
All sorts of arts.
And not just specifically art. I mean,
There was the chess club was in there.
Yep.
They had dance. They had drawing and painting. We're sorry, but they also had some singing.
well, I mean, come on.
They were having fun.
They were
and
having
you know
fun.
What?
It was a class of voice lessons and somebody was getting their voice lesson. And they were singing a Spanish version of Angels by Robbie Williams.
And they needed a lesson.
They were doing their best.
They were giving it all the gusto and they were having fun with it. And I'm not going to say a word because I've been known to butcher a song or two in karaoke. So, yo.
Exactly. I was really impressed, though, with one room that had weaving. Oh, wow. ¿Cómo se llama?
Gilberto.
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 Muchos gusto.
Gracias.
We found gardens, more gardens.
Well, there was an inside area from the original that had the two big trees and some very intricate shrubbery that is meticulously maintained.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went through an archway and came out on the backside of the old convent. And there was a whole nother
Yes.
area back there with one very modern building sitting there facing the old convent.
And am I mistaken in this belief? I think this was the first time that we've encountered an ex-convent that literally was for nuns.
Yeah,
This was one for nuns, because every time we go someplace in Mexico and they say ex-convent, it was monks. And I'm like, I've never heard of a monastery being called an ex-convent. That's what they always call them here.
This one was ladies' choice.
This was about a place for nuns.
Yes.
Then it was time to have our dinner this evening. So we did another casual stroll down the Pedestrian Street and made our way into
Mercado de Carne Pasilla. Wow. It's an interesting building because it's not just that restaurant. It is basically a little indoor mall that has a lot of restaurants that are open air that face each other.
Yep.
And it's has a variety of different things in there. Great atmosphere and wow, good food.
Good food at a good price.
Yes.
We were expecting our bill to be, I don't know, over $100. No.
Normally we get a little nervous when the menus are placed outside and there's no prices next to anything. That's normally a good indicator that if one of those that if you have to ask, you can't afford.
Well, and also we're in a tourist area, so we know the prices are elevated.
Yes. Yeah. And we don't know if there's dynamic pricing going on, you know, if when they're busy during certain times of the year. But when we got inside the restaurant and handed the menus, nope, the prices were printed right in there. And we were sort of shocked that it was as affordable as it was with the quality of service that we got.
And the volume of food.
Wow, yeah.
Yes. I mean, that was lunch the next day.
Well, and breakfast, because that steak and eggs next morning was actually pretty good.
Sure was.
Yeah.
And it was romantic.
Yes.
They had flowers on the table. They had candles lit. They were playing nice lounge, jazzy renditions of popular songs. Yep. I mean, I had a really good night that night.
It was. It was very relaxed and comfortable. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to be in San Cristóbal and you want a nice dinner, that's your place.
Yes. Guys, this place is so classy, and I'm getting some kind of drink that has red wine and orange soda and brandy, I don't even know what, Claricot Mercado. And we got some really fresh bread with some pesto as well as some homemade potato chips. Just so delicious. Okay, what's that brown thing behind your steak, honey?
It looks like almost like cabbage.
Red cabbage, maybe? Okay, and that looks like
Zucchini.
It doesn't suck.
it doesn't suck. I got a ricotta ravioli with pear and walnut. It just sounded like an interesting combination. It's pretty good. Yeah, there's a subtle sweetness there from the pear and the nutty texture. It's just really very, very good, very different. Not your typical Italian type pasta. It's different. Honey, you're not done.
Yes, I am. That's going to be great with eggs tomorrow morning for breakfast.
Well, to be fair, I can't finish my plate either. So we also had a few other meals. One of them was at a buffet place on Father's Day, no less. We didn't even realize it. He got a discount.
I did. They gave me 25% off. Pot of poppy.
Pot of poppy.
Hey.
It was really good. For what it was buffet food, and you had a limited selection of what you could get. But what I got, the Alfredo with seafood was delicious.
Yeah, and the service again was top notch. Mm-hmm. The owner came around, touched base with us, wanting to see how things work.
I got sopa tres quesos, and Mark got ramen de pollo, and it's a buffet. And the silverware is right here on a table. You pick a table and you sit where you want to sit. Limeade with chia.
Gracias, mi amigo.
This is more than just limonada. I mean, it actually tastes like there's cucumber in it as well. Whatever it is, besides the chia, it's refreshing. It is delicious. It's very light. I highly recommend this beverage.
Very good beef ribs. Haven't gotten to the chicken yet. Y frijoles negros.
Nice.
Muy bien.
Ribs look very tender. Now I have pasta con mariscos. So basically it's like an Alfredo with some shrimp. Maybe some crab. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. The best part of that, the shrimp are not overcooked. I have this thing about rubbery shrimp because they often get overcooked. No, these are very, very, very well done. Well, I don't want to say they're well done. They're cooked well.
I would say a touch more expensive than what I would have thought for that, but Very nice decor, nice ambiance, and the food was good.
It was good. The last place we ate, wow. I was really looking for an authentic regional type dish or a restaurant that served lots of options like that. Maybe something, Oaxacan or something in that realm.
Mm-hmm.
And we just walked and found this place and
Well, we had walked and it was raining and it finally reached the point of, oh, they're open and they're serving lunch. We're going in here.
we're going in here. I think I'm going to get the quesadillas. We're going to look inside. Okay, these are fried, definitely crispy. Oh, look at that. There's a beef and cheese filling in there. And then we have the broth. Oh my. That's like a beef based, maybe some tomato. Very good broth. Wow. Okay. I think I'm supposed to take my beef and quesadilla y res taco, and dip it in the broth. Kind of like a French dip. Let's give it a try. Wow. It is a cold, rainy day in San Cristóbal de las Casas. Literally one of the world's largest tropical storms kind of floated over top of us on its way into the Gulf. And
It was a washout yesterday.
I mean, the rain was so heavy yesterday, but it's already cooler. It's June, and it's in the 50s and 60s in San Cristóbal, and now you add rain to that. So, you know what? This is a very welcomed, warm, comfort food right now. Indeed. Guys, I added some lime to this soup. Oh my gosh, now it's even better. Wow, this is so perfect on a day like today. Is it hitting the spot?
It's warm. It's filling. What else can I ask for right
Seasoned well?
now? Yes.
Excellent.
We got lucky.
Yeah, we did. They took us upstairs. We got a balcony dining seat location.
Well, they put us at one table, then the waitress came over and said, the view is better, and she moved us to a different table. We were one of the very first ones in the place for lunch.
We were okay with either one. It didn't matter. But yes, the view was really nice. There's just this extra ambiance and just kind of more fun sitting there at the table and just watching the street. It's raining, but people are out walking around with their umbrellas. They don't care that it's raining because this is rainy season. I guess that happens constantly.
Hence the term.
Yeah, so it was fun. It was fun to sit there and just kind of take that in. Then the food came. And I have never had, my goodness, that food was just amazing. And with the weather being what it was, chilly, damp, it was hitting the spot.
Well, and we had been out and about. I mean, we were coming back from a tour and we had walked around and walked, and it was chilly, cold, dampness was in the air, a little bit of rain here and there. And so, yeah, finding a place that we could sit and sort of collect our thoughts and then get that food.
Oh,
and
so
again, the owner came over.
Yes.
He was, bussing our dishes, wanting to know, is everything good? Can I get you another refresco? Boom. And no, that if you're looking for a good place to sit down and look down over the street and watch the people go and get some really good, authentic food, that's your place.
Yeah. We were there for a month. We really, really enjoyed our time just kind of relaxing at our Airbnb. You can see video on the Airbnb right here. But we were taking our time, enjoying, recharging. The weather change was a welcomed factor here, I would say.
And fortunately, it sort of eased us into that. I mean, when we first went from Tuxtla up to San Cristóbal, it was cooler, but we were still in shirt sleeves and it was comfortable.
Yeah.
And then like about a week later, it went from comfortable to
cold.
Where is my hoodie? I mean.
But we didn't really go into Centro a lot.
No.
There, typically I want to go see all the churches. My goodness, there are a lot of churches to see around Tuxtla. There are caves to visit. There's museums like the Amber Museum and things like that. We didn't do any of those things. But what we did do is just walk around and take in the culture in Centro, try out various restaurants, and just kind of, I don't know, just enjoy that. We did.
And we did a lot of sitting on our front porch.
We sure did.
Watching it rain, listening to it come down, and just chilling. And that really was something I didn't realize how much we needed it until we were doing it. And then it was sort of, do you want to go into Centro today? Yeah, not really.
I know.
Okay. I know. That literally
like
was.
Sometimes what happens is we do these videos, and I'm not saying I don't like it, but it does become almost like a job where you're like, okay, we're here now. We need to go do this, 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 and this because we need footage for a video. I was just kind of, he's like, do you want to go into Centro? I'm like, no, I'm kind of enjoying this right now. I had that one experience the first time we went into Centro with us being chased around by vendors, and I didn't want to run into that again, which it really didn't happen again. The other time we were in Centro, the other couple times we went to Centro, it really didn't happen again.
Well, one was early in the morning, and we were going right over. Well, 2 times was early in the morning. We went straight over for a guy. Well, I dropped you off one time and walked over, and we took our tours. And then the other time was later in the evening, and there were more people around.
Yes.
And so there were more candidates for them to hit. Right.
Whereas the first time we went into town, I got hit right away, and they just followed us around. And it kind of turned me off from wanting to go into Centro. But with us going at different times of the day and with the additional people, it alleviated a lot of that.
And then we figured out where to park.
Yes.
I mean, you park actually underneath that area where you see all the lights lit up and all the vendors are walking around the open area right there in front of the church.
In front of the cathedral.
Boom.
Yeah.
There's a parking deck right below, 10 pesos per hour. Done.
Yeah. It became our favored parking location,
Mm-hmm.
honestly.
And it's an easy drive in.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it wasn't always an easy drive home. Thank you, Google.
I like the charm. The city does have colonial aspects still preserved. Beautiful painted colored buildings. There's lots of wrought iron. There's lots of flowers. The weather's cool. We just happened to get there right as the rainy season was starting. So we had some nice weather and then we had a lot of rain.
Yeah, but we had some great sleeping weather though with that rain
Yes, we
hitting the
did.
roof. It was like,
Yes, we did. And we had great food.
yes.
My goodness, the food in that town was delicious.
So that's basically the little walk around of San Cristóbal de las Casas. We will give you all the follow-up as far as cost and everything else and our final thoughts in our wrap-up video that'll be probably in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Yep.
Because next week's video is going to be all about the villages of Zinacatan and Chamula. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you found this informative or entertaining. Please join us again next week. We are Gringos Are Us.
Expats with a plan.
Remember,
We're doing it. You can too. Something up there again?
A video that you might want to watch.
Oh, is it on the white curtain on the screen?
Hasta la próxima.
Adios.